Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. My name is Marvel Bishop, and you are now listening and watching the NoWayButUp podcast. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. I appreciate the viewership for the YouTube viewership, the Instagram, SoundCloud. Right now, I know this place looks a little bit different, but we are in the new, lovely WeWork Wynwood. I want to thank the family of WeWork for allowing us to do this podcast. I did not forget your first name, but I forgot your last name already. But it's all good. It's all good. We're gonna go ahead. We're gonna go ahead. So, as you guys know, this is a special edition of the NoWayButUp podcast, Art Basel edition. I am actually going to be pretty much interviewing a few lovely and just talented local artists in the South Florida region, and I have one right in front of me. My man Johnny.
Yo,
what is going on?
It's going great. Great vibes in South Florida, Miami.
Nice. So, okay, so we met, I would say, about a year ago?
Yeah, a year ago.
Mm-hmm. Where was that? That was in the Keller Williams spot.
Building brand. With,
Asa. That brand. Got shout out to Asa. And what was it about? It was what was it? Instagram thing?
It's an Instagram branding. How to showcase, especially for real estate people. And it's just like shit. I could still learn. Wait, can we cuss?
Of course you can.
Yeah,
you already did.
We can still learn about real estate and how can I apply what he's teaching with real estate agents to artists.
Nice. Okay. But the thing is, though, you got a nice little following on Instagram. So I'm surprised you actually need that, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I'm never too big-headed to learn.
No, hey, man. And that's honestly one of the things I love about you, man. You're such a dope artist, but at the same time, you're so freaking humble, man. You know what I'm saying? If people don't really know too much about you initially, it's they actually do have to find out about you, man. So is that pretty much your nature?
I'm just chill. I'm chill, and just my most favorite thing is learning. All day. I'll watch something, throw on a podcast, throw on a documentary, just learn. Okay,
cool. So, all right. So, let's do a little bit of research on you. So, your father is from Guyana, right? And your mother is Jamaican, right?
Yeah.
So, when I was reading, something kind of definitely puzzled me a little bit. You said you've been in prison since 2 years old.
Oh, no, not me. I may have made a typo.
Okay. I was like, wait, what? How did somebody
I was just typing.
How did somebody get in prison at 2? What kind of life did you have back in the day?
I had some Bacardi and I was typing.
Okay. But no. You know what? Let me start talking and then, just give me a little bit of background on yourself.
Right, so basically, what influenced my art and who I am today is the background or the people that came before. My mother, Jamaican, she's Indian, black. My father, my biological father, he's the one who was in prison since I was 2 years old.
Okay,
he's from Guyana.
Okay.
And then my father figure, he's Haitian.
Okay.
So, say passe, so I've got all this culture that's mixed in that I grew up with. So that's where I got my appreciation for culture, for diversity, for just meeting people, just getting out there. So,
Okay. So, and then I was reading that you went to HBCU.
Yeah.
Right? Which one?
Lincoln University.
Okay, nice. Where's that at?
That's in Pennsylvania.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice. And then after you pretty much graduated, and then you you actually started working at a creative agency, I believe?
Oh, no, that's later on in the
Okay.
game.
So walk me through it.
I'll walk you through. So essentially, my mom passed away. She was 40 years old. I was 19. She passed away. I was like, you know what? She's gone. She's the one that wanted me to finish school.
Okay.
I was in my sophomore year, and I was like, you know what? I'm learning, but I want to apply. So I quit school and started my own photography business, videography.
Nice.
And became a tattoo apprentice as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's where I started putting that art into it. But after that, went to California, started my art career. Walshy Fire, who's down here, Koyo Taco.
Shout out to Walsh, man. Walsh is family.
For real.
Family. Yes, sir.
So that was my legit first thing where it's like, yo, I could do this artist thing professionally.
Okay.
And then started doing that.
So you were pretty much starting, you were shooting him?
No.
What exactly were you doing? What were you doing with him?
So basically what he wanted was, they got a group called Sons of Dub that was coming out. He wanted some album work and essentially commissioned me to do album work, cover work for them.
Okay.
Nothing of the cinematography or video, but just stuff like the visuals.
So what exactly like kind of like pulls you more, like the art as we see right here, or the photo and video? Like what's your thing?
Honestly, I love the art. That
Mhm.
just comes naturally. Been doing that. My mom was a painter, but what I love.
Do you think you got that from her?
I got that from her, definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Nice.
But what I love is the editing, sound editing, videography, just storytelling
Hmm.
through a visual format, any visual format, but especially editing.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what as far as your photo and video, do you still do that?
I do video.
Okay.
I'm saving up right now to get a cinema camera, a
Okay.
Z cam. That's like what, $6,000.
That's a lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anamorphic lens. So I want to, I just want to.
So what's your plans with that?
My plans with that is to combine it all.
Okay.
That's why I love being a creative artist. And that's why I say multimedia, because I'm not a visual artist. I'm not just a painter, not just a muralist. I like to do it all and dabble in everything with skill.
Nice.
So my plan is to tell stories. That's a human thing. Everyone does it. And I want to combine the art, doing up like let's take you for example.
Okay. Yeah,
so
walk
I
me
meet
through.
you, I take a picture, and then it's like, okay, let's do an interview. Do the interview, and then I make a portrait, a motion portrait of you where it's not just a picture, I repaint it, and then I have motion graphics where the background is moving, elements that are important to you.
Yeah, I was actually going through your art pieces when you showed me via Dropbox, and yeah, there's a few of them that was actually like moving. Yeah. It was like kind of like definitely like kind of like I was kind of like hypnotized a little bit.
Okay.
I was like, damn, this is pretty dope. So what is the for those type of pieces that you have, like what is the inspiration behind it, and also what is the process? Because I feel it's not a quick process. I feel like it takes forever.
Sometimes I appreciate that you understand that it's not a quick process. A lot of times people think of it as a boom, you just poop that right out.
No,
but it's
not
not.
at all.
It's what your boy's doing right now. He's taking a photo. So I take a photo, or I use a photographer's image with permission.
Okay.
And then I repaint it digitally, and then I plan out different elements that pertain to the story that I'm trying to tell.
Okay.
And if I were to do one of you, for example, it would be your story. I'd ask you all the questions, your background, what are you doing? What are you currently doing? What do you aspire to do? And then that will be included into that piece.
What else are you doing right now as far as like art?
As far as art, right now, I wanted to focus on farmers.
Okay.
I got inspired from watching Queen Sugar. My grandfather's, he was a farmer, and my family from the Indian side, I believe that they were farmers from northern India.
Okay.
That came to Jamaica and from their farming. So I wanted to capture stories of people that are in farming, what's happening with the Okeechobee River, the runoff of the fertilizer that's going into the river and creating the algae blooms, which is messing up tourism in Mexico, and they're actually toxic. So I'm trying to find a way to tell all those stories.
So how do you do that? Like how difficult is it, first of all, to like really like pull all those stories together? And number two, like, do you find yourself having like road bumps or speed roadblocks, I should say, for that process?
Definitely. I definitely find that there are road bumps just in connecting with people and then finding someone that's willing to share their story.
Okay.
Because there's a lot that goes into it, and these are people's livelihoods. So
how many no's have you had so far? Talk about that. Like how many no's, how many like
reaching out
and rejections, pretty much, to try to put out the art. Because that's another process that people don't even really talk about, like the process within the process. Like
the no's.
Yes, talk about the no's.
The no's, that should be, if you cannot take a no, then you should not be an artist. The no's, I would say, for me so far have been 90% of the time.
Okay.
90% of the time, people will say no.
Okay.
They don't want to share their story. They're not comfortable being on camera, even if it's an iPhone. And like I said, it's their livelihood. So it goes back to, if they say something bad about that brand and they show their face, which is the point of it, to show how these people look, where they're from, tell their story, that can affect their family. So a lot of times with that, when it comes to industry, when it comes to oranges, when it comes to A lot of the agricultural crops that are in Florida, it's a no. So
Okay.
that's been a hard process so far.
So how are you working around that right now?
Working around it right now is just reaching out and trying to get closer and closer to home as far as people that know someone so that we can build trust, and I make sure that I tell the right story. You know, I don't want to tell my version of a story.
I feel like I guess the push and pull when it comes to an artist trying to tell somebody else's story is that it's a trust value. It's basically, and also hopefully that they'll actually keep the integrity of pretty much the story. Exactly. Because a lot of people, not say a lot of people, but some artists, they think they see something great in a story and they try to take whatever they think is good and they pull it out and they make it into something that's completely different. Exactly. Like, does that happen all the time?
As far as when I try to tell stories, which I've been getting into more, in this day and age, there's fake news and this and that, and clickbait titles. I don't want to inaccurately tell someone's story, a person who already doesn't really have a voice in their community. So it's important. It's important that I do make sure that it's very accurate.
Okay.
And do my best. I did study journalism in college, so I want to make sure that I stay true to telling their story, even if I don't agree with it, because I don't have an agenda. I just want to reflect what it is they say, their words, and what they want to see. They want to see what they would like to share.
I got you. So it seems like you're very great on telling other people's stories. But let's talk about the stories that you have experienced. Walk me through that. And if you have a couple stories basically that really mean a lot to you with your artwork, and talk to me about that process.
Okay. One of the most recent projects I've done is a mural for Flint, Michigan.
Okay, nice.
And with Flint, Michigan, we know what happened there as far as the government letting the people down in order to save on costs using the river water, which eroded the taps, which then lead and minerals
terrible over there. Yeah.
So recently, what they've been doing is the Flint Art Project. I hope I'm saying their name right. They contacted a bunch of different artists from all over the world, local, within the United States and international. And what we were doing was creating artwork for the city, not just what we wanted to create, but something that represented the people in the area, which I thought was amazing.
Okay.
And with that art piece, the way I was able to tell the story of these people is what they wanted to aspire to, what they already are.
But how is that connected to you?
How's that connected to me? Well, in what sense?
So my question was, is that the stories, like the art pieces that you have, I'm not necessarily talking about the stories that were pretty much influenced you. I'm talking about your personal experiences.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So
let's
how that ties in is love, unity, and community.
Okay.
Certain things that I don't have in my life already, I want to get into that. For example, family. Let's talk about family. It's not easy dealing with family.
Yeah.
And I don't feel that I'm that close with them.
Why not?
Why not is after my mother passed away, I saw a different side of things. When she was there, she was one of the people that was always there, always helping. Always in the
did she die recently?
She died 2000. I have trouble with that. 2009.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
my condolences.
It's a blurry time for me.
I understand.
But after that, I kind of distanced myself through just. I went to California immediately after I left school.
Did you feel like you had to kind of disconnect from where you were with from? Did you get bad memories or something like that, or you just feel like you needed a reset?
I felt like I needed a reset, and I also felt as though at that time I didn't get the support that I needed. And
from your family?
From my family.
Okay.
But as an adult later on in life, I realized everyone has their story. Everyone's going through their thing.
Yeah.
So it's not their fault. That was my perspective at that time was limited.
Okay.
But now I'm reconnecting with them. Now I'm rebuilding. And I feel that I need to represent that in my art.
Okay. Okay. So how then? How are you doing that now with those art pieces?
With those art pieces,
let's get back to the experiences.
Getting back to the core and the experiences,
Yes.
what I want to do is take photography of the people, create portraits of them, and create portraits of what is they want to see, because I'm always aspiring to something, and I want to see what it is that they want to aspire to. Eventually, I'm going to do a family portrait series.
Nice.
And I just want to kind of do that with every culture, with every community that I have lived with or have been in, and then expand that to people that I don't feel their stories are shared.
Do you feel that the experiences and everything that you're going through, as far as like the art, like that is kind of like a representation or reflection of what you wanted with your family?
Yes.
Okay.
I do feel that it was, and that's why I'm always looking. That when I say aspire, it's like when I say.
I'm sorry to cut you off, but listen. Okay, so did you have trouble? Did you have trouble with your family when it comes to like your artwork, where they did not believe in you?
It's not that they didn't believe in me.
Yeah.
I just didn't get affirmation.
Okay, like the confirmation, like
I didn't get
man,
confirmation
okay, I got
or
you.
affirmation. It's
Was it more okay? So was it more like a pat on the back, like, okay, John, cool, that's fine.
Yeah,
Other than
it was
be
just
like,
like a
yo, you
side
need to
thing.
fucking do this.
It was a side thing.
Got it.
It's like even my father figure, he wanted me to get into business. He was all about business. He did musician, like he was a rapper. That didn't work out. So he went through business, entrepreneurship, doing all this other stuff with video. And every time I'd show him my work or something, it was just like, And eventually I had to look within myself and not get that praise or confirmation from everyone else in order to feel great about my work.
Was it more, so did you have trouble at first actually trying to like display or try to pretty much showcase your experiences? That's the reason why you were actually going and actually showcasing other experiences?
Exactly.
Because that was kind of maybe like a place of like, I don't really want to visit that.
Yeah, it was just kind of like an avoidance at first. Avoidance of the real things that.
But that's what true art is, though.
Yeah.
You know, like with the light comes with the dark, you know what I'm saying, and vice versa.
Exactly.
You know, with the joy that you want to experience when it comes to art, you kind of need to go through that pain first and pretty much, you know, show. Because I definitely see you use your art as an example of like who you are, who you were, and pretty much all the other people who are like pretty much around you and the people who you pretty much been associating with.
Yeah.
You know? So what, let's see where I'm trying to go with this. So, okay, so you were at Cali, right? So, and then after that, what year was that?
So from California, I grew up there basically from 1999 to 2005. I was in California.
Okay.
Then I was back in Florida for high school, graduated, went to Pennsylvania, lived there for a few years. That's where I was going to school.
Okay.
And then from
school
there,
for what?
School for business and entrepreneurship.
Okay. Was that for you or for your father?
That's for my father.
Okay, look, so listen, let's talk about doing things basically for quote unquote validation for your, because listen, man, I do take you seriously, so do not take this personally, but I see you as an artist, bro. The only thing I think of you when it comes pretty much to an artist. So why do you feel that young people, especially when it comes to, you know, situations and, you know, with their fathers or with their parents or whatever, if that's something that they want to do initially, then why did you feel like you had to go through business school and not actually just pursue art right away?
Well, the reason why is because I never thought of art as an avenue to venture down.
Okay.
I really wanted to go to school for cinematography and editing and animation. But as far as business,
but that's art though.
It's still art. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Okay.
But as far as like the entrepreneurship, this is what I figured. I was like, all right, I wanted to get a hand up on when I get into the real world and I'm doing my art, my photography. I want to be able to negotiate. I want to be able to understand, even if I have a manager or if I'm working with an agency, I want to still be able to understand business.
Mm-hmm.
I want to understand money, finance, so that I'm not taken advantage
That's
of.
probably something that is so, I guess, overlooked when it comes to artists. They think that art is really the only thing when it comes to just doing art, but everything is a full circle, you know. Like, you need to learn how to like negotiate. You need to know how to learn, like, you know, like how to do numbers and everything. Even though, like, if you're just like, you know, you get a lot of money or if you become so rich, you know, in art or whatever, there's times where artists do get taken advantage of because they do not know the ins and outs of pretty much business.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, man, like, there's so many artists out there, man, that like they get taken advantage of.
And they're so talented too.
Yeah. Yeah, you know? Like, they feel that they just need to just, you know, pretty much focus on the art and then that's it. And then it's like, no, man, it's so much other things. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I can pretty much do it all over, I mean, I went to school for FIU and went to the first sports and fitness. I did drop out. But, you know, I feel like if I can definitely do it all over, I'll definitely do business administration. You know, I don't think they had an entrepreneurship, honestly, back then, honestly. But yeah. So talk to me about your art as far as Instagram.
Ooh, so my art as far as Instagram goes.
Do we focus way too much on Instagram? Do we focus way too much on social media? And and this whole entire, like, I guess this mentality that, you know, people just don't want to post on Instagram because they're too afraid.
All right, so
I don't see
levels,
yeah,
bro.
so break it down to me.
So first, I want to say that Instagram, social media, it's a blessing to artists because all the gatekeepers, that's gone. It's you. You post for free 99, show your work, build your audience, and they come back. They come back to you. But eventually, you know, that creativity that I was putting in, trying out new and different things, I found something that worked. And then I kept with that. And when I saw that I wasn't getting the same engagement, I became addicted to the praise. I became addicted to the stats because I found out that certain companies were no longer going with just, oh, man, I love his work. It's, oh, man, I love his audience and how if he does work for us, he can share that with his audience. And that's extra exposure for what we're doing. And it became a numbers game. So I was trying to play to the numbers and burnout occurred.
Really?
Yeah. For me, burnout occurred where I wasn't doing what I wanted to. I was doing what I felt that others wanted to see.
Because of the likes, because of the pretty much the engagement. And I mean, that's pretty much what we're actually going towards right now because we're removing all the likes pretty much. Yeah, you're all about that, aren't you?
I'm all about that.
Yeah. Why?
Because when you remove the likes, you're no longer doing it for the stats, per se. You're doing it to be as creative as possible, create something new, something that people haven't seen before, whether it works or not. Who cares? Just getting it out there and
man.
Trying.
Instagram, bro. Like, you know, we have really driven away from the essence of what IG is, and that's social media at the end of the day. I will mainly Instagram, which is to showcase creativity, showcase art, showcase content, showcase what you love, not necessarily what you think is good. Pretty much, you know what I'm saying, with for the algorithm, you know. It's just something that, you know, like I'm really glad that we're pretty much we're definitely like making that step and pretty much, you know, because bro, we put way too much fucking validation on Instagram.
Oh my gosh. Let me bring in for most of you who are listening to this podcast, you probably listen to Gary V.
Yeah.
And let me just say I lost.
Ahead.
I fucking lost.
Okay.
I like when Gary V was saying at that time, Instagram is underpriced. Fucking do the ads. Post on stories, post every day, post 15 posts a day. I was like, bro, I'm an artist. I can't do that. I'm fancy. I was being fancy. I was being a perfectionist.
Got it.
And I lost in that game.
So is that where the burnout occurred?
The burnout occurred there because I was trying to wrap my brain around that concept that he was saying. I was like, how do I do that? And at that time, I wasn't what he said was document over create.
That's
And I
literally what I live by, man. As soon as that brother said that, man, it just like it clicked like a friggin' like on all cylinders.
Exactly. And as an artist, I confuse that create. I'm like, okay, create my work. I create my work. But as far as sharing, I was thinking of something else as far as creating. And I should have just documented and shared the process, because I've learned that people don't care if it looks professional. They just want to see the process. People like people, and they want to see what you're doing.
So, talk to me about burning out.
Burning out.
Yeah, because you recently just mentioned burning out. Do you think burning out is considered a good thing or a bad thing for artists?
I think it's
a great thing. I think it's a great thing. I think burning out is honestly like literally like your brain and your psyche is telling you, yo, chill the fuck out.
Chill out.
Like you need to reset.
Exactly.
Do you feel that artists just kind of fight the grain a little bit too much when they try to get into creative process? Have you experienced that?
I do. I have.
You know, because like,
and I do.
It's more of a pride thing. You know what I'm saying? Because like, you know, it's like, no, I don't want to burn out, because like if I burn out and if I stop doing like, you know, art or whatever, then I'm not considered an artist and I can't really fight through. Talk to me about that.
At times it becomes egoistic. It's very egotistical.
Okay.
It's very self-oriented rather than value-oriented for your audience. And I think a lot of times I'm focused more on what I want to push versus what. Wait, that doesn't make any sense.
We'll run it back.
There's two different ideologies with that. There's some, like when I want to push what I want to push, it can be considered selfish, but I'm figuring out now that I can push what it is that I want to push while still bringing value to my audience rather than creating something without giving back to my audience. If that makes sense.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. So speaking about pushing things that you want to push, I think and this is how I feel when I saw you when you were doing this, that one of the things that you actually love doing is murals.
Yeah. Murals.
So you are the first person actually that I'm actually talking to personally that does murals.
Okay.
I honestly don't know where to begin with this, because it's like, to me, I can't wrap my fucking brain around it.
Okay.
Like, you know, bro, where do you start? How does a mural artist basically even start with a mural? Because all I think is just a big ass friggin' wall.
Yeah.
And it's just so overwhelming. And it's like, yo, honestly, like, I kind of think of like, you know, of me, because I'm 6'11", and it's like, if you think of a person who's like right next to you, 5'11", it's like, yo, like, how the hell did you get that damn big? like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what in God's name have you been doing basically for you to get like that? And honestly, that's kind of like how I think of murals. So in reference to pretty much Art Basel that's coming up right now, a lot of artists are coming out with murals. Walk me through the process of how do you get the inspiration, and just how do you wrap your mind around making a mural?
Ooh, okay. So how do I wrap my mind around making a mural? Here's how we start.
Okay.
If you've got an iPad Pro or you've got your iPhone, you take a picture of that wall. Obviously, you're going to communicate with the owner of that wall and see what it is that they're okay with having on their wall, which comes with restrictions. But if they give you free reign, that's great, but at the same time, it's daunting, because you have parameters to work within. For me, not for other artists, I don't know how they work per se, but for me, when I have parameters where it's like, you can't do this, you could do this, it's like, oh, that's easy to navigate.
Okay.
But when I have free reign, then it's like, oh shoot, I can use my voice.
Okay.
I can really express myself.
Got it.
And I want to make sure it's impactful rather than just something beautiful.
Okay. Got you.
And the next step is, once I figured out, okay, this is my message. I want love, unity, community, and I want that all over in words or a picture of someone that's underrepresented. Because if I go to around Wynwood now, fortunately, I've seen more murals of people that are Black,
nice, rather
than just Caucasian women or.
And you're very in tune with that, man.
Yeah,
and that's honestly, just to point out before you continue. Yeah, man, you really showcase for the Black Like you really, really show the art, basically, and show a lot of art from of like Black culture. So I really appreciate that.
Cool, I appreciate that.
Yeah. All right. So next.
So yeah, it's like when you go into an area, I personally believe that it should somehow represent the community, because it's an artist comes in internationally, they come in and then they dip out. And that artwork is there, but the people who live there will see that every day.
I think honestly, and it's probably a hot take, I think
ahead.
anybody that does murals, they have to be either a part of the community, or either they used to live there, or have to do something with it. Like I think it's kind of like OD, kind of like a disrespectful. Not fuck it, whatever. It's kind of like disrespectful to have a person that comes from friggin' the third world country or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And then like they come over here and they just build a friggin' mural that has nothing to do with nothing for this community. I see it all the time, bro.
I agree with you. It is quite disturbing. And even in Flint, a lot of the I will say this, a lot of murals were not necessarily included or featured in those murals.
Wow.
And it's a learning process for them. They're learning, they're getting better. Next year, there'll be more.
Yeah.
So that's what I love about the coordinators of that project. However, I do agree with you. I feel that wherever I will go, I will make sure that the murals I create will include the community that sees it every day, because I want to inspire, create conversation. And El Mac just did a mural over on this new housing building in Wynwood. And it's a young Black girl, a young Black man, and a Latino person, a male. And I thought that was beautiful, and it's actually representative of this area. You look at the people, Little Haiti's right there.
Yeah, no, it's right there. It's like literally like 5 minutes away.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, I got you.
I love when artists come in and are inclusive, include the community, versus creating something that's just irrelevant.
Yeah, and that's honestly something that you're doing, man. And I'm really proud of you for that. So, man, I could talk to you for hours, man. But we kind of do it. What time is it? Almost 5, but we got a little bit more time. So, one of the last questions I have for you is that if you see someone or somebody, if somebody sees you that's never ever seen your work before, what message are you pretty much trying to display to someone, and what message do you want them to pretty much get when they look at your art, and what feeling you want them to get, and what they want to get from you?
Definitely, I want them to feel overwhelming positivity. And the core of my message, the why I do it, is love, unity, and community creates opportunity. So when someone sees my mural that's from Europe, and I'm creating a mural for someone that's down here, for whichever communities that are down here, I put family, I put love. It's usually words. And it's words that I get from people that actually live in the community that I put onto the wall. So that's my representation. And eventually I'm going to get more into murals as far as the face.
Nice.
And, including people that are actually in the community. But it comes to the words, like in Flint, everyone that lived in that community, I got everyone's words. Like, what do you want to see in this wall? Put it up.
It's probably one of the best things to do, you know what I'm saying? To get feedback from the community, to see what they want in their community.
Exactly.
So Art Basel is coming up, man. What do you have? What's going on? I know
Art Basel. As far as Art Basel goes, I never participate in Art Basel.
Okay, wait. Okay, all right, that's fine. So we got into something right now. Why? Please tell me.
Why? Because I used to live here and I never heard of Art Basel.
Okay.
Until I went to California. It's like Art Basel is this big thing in the most recent
Do you hate
years.
Art Basel?
I don't hate it. I'll say I've never experienced it to really give true feedback on it. But from what I've heard from other people, it's kind of gotten out of hand. Obviously, the issue with gentrification, the issue with people who aren't from here that come in and create, which I have no problem with. But in that context where they come and show their work.
Okay.
Art Basel, just like in Hong Kong, it's this place where you can show your work. But it's gotten into this kind of celebrity atmosphere that's not quite as inclusive as I think it should be. But then again, I can't speak on it. not well versed in
Uh-huh.
what Art Basel really
I
is.
could listen. I'll tell you this. I love Art Basel. It's one of the busiest times
Mhm.
for what I do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's definitely gotten a little bit commercialized,
Okay.
a little bit to the point where, like, they kind of maybe do need to focus a little bit more on the local art. I mean, honestly, there's a reason why I started this like segment.
Yeah.
Is to, you know what I'm saying? And I will,
Branch out.
I will branch out and I will get like a couple like, celebrity artists. But I think the main chorus for Art Basel, especially depending on where you're going and where you're doing the Art Basel at, is to showcase pretty much the local artists, So yeah, so I mean, so you're not doing anything for Art Basel.
Not that I know of. Usually
Okay.
things happen last minute.
That's the one thing about Art Basel, man. Is like, you just chilling and then like, Art Basel comes up, yo, can you do this mirror real quick?
Like, for the past 3 years, I've gotten projects that I just didn't have time for.
Okay, so
for Art Basel.
So I got a question for you. So what advice would you give artists basically from a person who's looking from the outside in when it comes to Art Basel that you would like to see, that you feel like it would benefit the viewers?
What I would say for artists that are out there that want to participate.
That are participating.
Yes.
To pretty much combat the reservation that you have for Art Basel, to keep it home, to keep it
I would say
into the core.
Try to be more inclusive of the art scene that's around here. I know it's becoming this international gargantuan thing.
Got it.
But bring it back to the core of who's here. What are the people here doing? The artists that are here. Try to include more local artists. Try to include the small people, the people who haven't made it big yet.
Got it. Inclusivity at the end of the day.
Yeah, give people shine who haven't had the opportunities. It's about opportunity.
I got you. Bro, man, this has been fucking amazing. Like, for real. I definitely do appreciate you just taking your time, man.
Yeah.
And I know you came a little bit far out to
good.
get that. You know what I'm saying?
Nice
but
drive.
but listen, the one question that I always have for everybody is, what does No Way But Up mean to you?
You have no choice but to go up. No way but up is just keep pushing, keep grinding, have patience. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. Eventually, you'll learn and you'll make it some way, somehow, and happiness is what you define it, and that's success.
Powerful, man. Bro, Johnny, so before we leave, I need any shameless plugs. Where can we find you? Instagram, your website, everything. Bam, where we at?
Okay, Tarajosu, Tarajosu. A lot of people don't know how to spell it, but type that in on the internet. You'll find everything. Google it. Tarajosu.
My man, I appreciate you, man. All right, guys, thanks for listening and watching, man. No Way But Up.